Saki Hotu. A very good evening and a warm welcome to Buddhist Mahavihara's Facebook page. Tonight in the Dhammadana series, we have joining us live Bhante Kotapala Sumedha Thero from Canada. Bhante will be sharing about loving kindness and will explain to us on the Buddhist concept of loving kindness. So now I will introduce Bhante to the screen. Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
It's good morning for you, so good morning.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good morning from here.
So before we proceed, let me introduce a little bit about Bhante, and thank you Bhante for joining us. So Bhante Kottapala Sumedha Thero is the assistant Buddhist monk of the Sri Lanka International Buddhist Academy. Bhante has a Bachelor's of Arts in Pali from University of Peradeniya and a master's from the Kelaniya University and another master's from the Buddhist and Pali University. He is currently pursuing a master's in philosophy from the Postgraduate Institute of Buddhist and Pali Studies, University of Kelaniya. He is also holds a diploma in counseling psychology from Sri Lanka International Buddhist Academy. So now I would like to hand over the studio to Bhante to start the Dhamma session.
Okay. So at the beginning of Dhamma sermon, let us pay our homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Pay my respect to the Buddha, the exalted one, the omniscience one, the fruitful one. So, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I'm Kotapala Sumedha Thero, living in Ottawa Theravada Buddhist Vihara. So, in this Dhamma talk, especially proceeding on the topic of how to practice loving kindness and loving kindness thoughts in terms of avoiding our mental illnesses, right? So, at the beginning of my Dhamma sermon, actually, I would prefer to thankful for the Tilak Leslie and also his enduring with programming with Dhammadana series, especially in Buddhist Mahavihara in Malaysia. And also, I wanted to remind that Bhante Vinita Thero in this time because he was encouraged me with giving words for this Dhamma sermon. And also, thank you so much for the Udyani is handling all the technical support for continuing this Dhamma sermon and sharing this Dhamma sermon. So actually, this is very pleasurable moment to sharing with this concept with people not only living in Malaysia but also all the throughout the world in this planet, right? So that's very good and that's very beneficial concept in terms of Buddhist teachings. Like I would say, the loving kindness is the best and utmost concept that people mind and that people have to remind in their mind, and people have to practice this concept for the well-beings, for the benevolence of their life, right? So as a Buddhist monk, uh, we are practicing loving kindness loving kindness meditation in our life to control our human thoughts and human emotions inside of our mind. So once Buddha explained one of the very famous Pali stanza, I would just say, Nahi verena verani sammantida kudachanang averena cha sammanti esa dhammo sanantano. Right? So that is very famous Pali stanza among Buddhist people, right? So verena, which means hatred, right? The Buddha explained that there is no opportunity to console hatred by hatred, right? That's why the Buddha exhorted that if you want to cease, if you want to eradicate the all hatred, violence, conflict thoughts from your mind, that you have to practice, that you have to fulfill your mind with loving kindness thoughts, right? Like wellness thoughts that you have to cultivate in your mind. That's not easy thing to build up with a fruitful plant in our mind, right? Like example, if you see the outside ground, you can uh, you can see a lot of grasses, right, in your compound of the outside of your house, of your home. There are so many variety of grasses throughout the compound, but think carefully how many good fruit plants are there, right? So that is what good example for the our human life. This human life proceeding based on two parts. Those are, we can call, nama and rupa, right? Nama, which means uh, this mind, right? And then rupa, forms. This psychic and physic combination have been processing throughout our uh, very life with among other people, right? The Buddha advised us to, when you are living with, when you are continuing, when you are practicing your day-to-day activities with other people, you have to use this best medicine factor in your mind, which is loving kindness. In Pali, we would say metta, right? That's very simple word, metta, right? There are so many Buddhist aphorisms. Do you know what's the meaning of aphorisms? Which means formulas, right? The Buddhist teachings, including in those formulas. There are a variety of formulas explaining about this loving kindness. I can give some example for that, like loving kindness sutta, and also we can call Metta Sutta, and one of the very famous and very important sutta called Kakachupama Sutta, the metaphor of soap, right? In Buddhist point of view about loving kindness, not only based on oneself, it is sharing method, right? We have to cultivate this concept inside of our mind, and then we can prevail throughout the not only human beings but beings, right? That's the Buddha's advice. Once Buddha advised, Sukha Khamani Bhutani. Sukha Khamani Bhutani. There are 3 Pali words. The very massive information, massive importance for us that 3 Pali words already gave. What are those 3 words? Sukha means comfortable. Kamani means prefer. Bhutani means beings. Every beings want to live with comfortable life, right? Not only human beings, at least from ant, like if we say until elephant, right? The small beings and the uh, large animals, the all beings want to live with peaceful life. In Society of uh, American Psychology Association, especially mentioned that, especially uh, noted with, it is very utmost solution to reduce your mental illnesses such as uh, stress and dementia, and also arrogance and like agitation, and also sluggishness, so on mental illnesses. We can reduce, we can mitigate if you are practicing loving kindness meditation even 10 minutes per day. APA Association, APA institution mentioned that in very short term, LKM, loving kindness meditation. Actually, they are proceeding and they are observing how to reduce, how to uh, eliminate mental negative emotions, mental pessimistic emotions with using of Buddhist teachings. In psychology, these concepts like loving kindness, equanimity, and tranquility and kindfulness, like those concepts, they are explaining such a variety of way, like soft skills, right? These are the very soft skills. Why we are practicing these soft skills? Why we want to practice these soft skills rather than becoming the high level of positions in our education field? The important point is this human mind, especially based on 2 parts. The first one, IQ, and then the second one, EQ, right? What's the IQ means? IQ means intelligent quotient, right? That is actually intelligent quotients in our mindset, like as a percentage, uh, 20%, right? We would say 20%. That's the ideal answer for the uh, average of intelligence and rational thoughts in our mind. And then what about EQ part? What's the meaning of EQ? Is emotional quotient, right? As a percentage, the emotional quotient would be 80% in the human mind, right? So the emotion part controlling all the human thoughts, the emotion part proceeding human life. Now you can understand why human beings should be practiced these soft skills in human life. Like if you are go to any hospitals or in the society, we can see that so many people are behaving, so many people are dwelling with a lot of mental stresses and a lot of mental pessimistic thoughts, even though they have a lot of degrees and a lot of qualifications, even a lot of money, right? Or properties. Why they are suffering? Why they are living with cannot handling their ideas? The main answer, the main and the best answer is they had not understood yet this emotion part is the best option is to cultivate with optimistic thoughts to enhance and to abbreviate this emotion part. You can use Buddhist teachings, you can use Buddhist formulas. That's the very important thing. You can start from yourself, by yourself, to see your inside mind. What are the things that happening inside of our mind, inside of my mind, by myself, that we have to recall it, right? The Buddha's advice is all the way you have to see, you have to contemplate inside of your mind rather than seeing others' attitude and investigating others' behaviors. That is how we have to practice, we have to start up loving kindness meditation from one point, right? Like one of the very famous meditation master living in USA, United States of America. He's actually Sri Lankan Buddhist monk, Henepola Gunaratana Bhante, most venerable Henepola Gunaratana Thero. She's given one of the very good concept to practice this loving kindness meditation throughout our life. How can we practice this concept and how to absorb these benevolence emotions with by oneself? He said that you have to start this path. You have to recite these uh, sentences while you are doing this loving kindness meditation. What are them? Those are, so while we are practicing this meditation, we can recite, may I be well, may I be happy, may I be peaceful, may no harm come to us, may no difficulties come to us, may no problems come to us, may I always meet with spiritual success, may I also have patience, courage, understanding, determination. May I also have patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems, failures in our lives. That's the way how the things as a new practitioner to begin with loving kindness meditation with cultivating these sentences, and then we can prevail the loving kindness thoughts to others. May my parents and also to our friends, to our teachers, to our family members who are living surround us, and neighbors. Not only those good people who are preferring by ourselves, but we have to prevail those good thoughts among even enemies, even jealousy people, even bad people, that we have to spread our benevolence thoughts among them, right? That's the way how to practice this concept in our life. Like one story, I just remembering at the Buddha's period, while the Buddha was walking among the road, our omniscient Swan had to seen the group of children were playing uh, with something. The Buddha wanted to actually see and understand what's the thing of happening over there. The Buddha went to close those very small young boys and then asked, "What are you doing?" One boy answered, "We are hitting and we are putting some stones and sticks to the snake." The Buddha asked, "Why are you hurting, hitting to that snake?" That boy answered to the Buddha, "Lord Buddha, this snake is very dangerous and it has the very dangerous venoms inside of uh, its mouth. So before disturbing us, we are trying to uh, dispel that snake from the rod." That boy answered to the our great omniscient Swan. Having listened that words from given by given by that boy, the Buddha exhorted that before hurting others, you have to hit to yourself to feel how can bearable, how can endure those painful situation, painful sensation to your body, right? That is what the Buddha always advised us to. Before hurting others, you have to get those experience to feel, to understand those hurting situation, those hurting sensation to yourself. Having heard those very kindful words given by the Buddha, those boys escape all the uh, very small stones and scattles and sticks away from rod and away from those boys' hands, and then having bowed down to the Buddha, they went to their home. That's the Buddhist concept of. Uh, Actually, we can say that's not Buddhist concept. That's the Buddhist way how to practice loving kindness thoughts inside of our mind, right? There is no any significant loving kindness thoughts directly to the Buddhism or Hinduism or Islamic religion, or there is no special loving kindness, special wellness thoughts as per the like Canadian loving kindness or American loving kindness or Sri Lankan loving kindness or Malaysian loving kindness or European loving kindness. There is no any special loving kindness thoughts actually to the human mind, right? Loving kindness is the loving kindness, right? That was the eternal uh, happening, and that is common usage in this world. Do you think the Buddha was the founder of loving kindness? No, that's not at all. The Buddha understood if you can practice benevolence thoughts inside of your mind, you are a strong person. One of the president of United States of America said, we cannot help everyone, but everyone can help someone, right? That is how we have to understand that very little concept. Dana Sila Bhavana. The Buddha mentioned that there are major points that you have to practice in your life. Dana sharing and Sila discipline and meditation. Dana Sila Bhavana. Those major training main methods extremely direct to the eightfold path. A lot of people are sharing goods and some other substances and some other facilitative things among poor people and with animals. That's good, not bad. But the thing is, while you are practicing those good activities, you have good opportunity to elaborate, to increase benevolence inside of the mind. That is how interesting, that is how peaceful thoughts in our mind, if you can practice as a meditation methods inside of your mind. There are so many examples the Buddha gave us. One example in Kakachupama Sutta, Kakachupama, which means metaphor of soul. The Buddha used soul as a metaphor to understand us to uh, how to practice loving kindness. Right? The end of this sutta, the Buddha mentioned that both strong uh, young age two boys with having so those two young strong boys, sorry, while those two strong young boys cutting your uh, body, at that time even you have to increase, you have to think about loving kindness thoughts. How hard to practice this metta concept inside of our mind. That's not easy thing. The lack of wellness thoughts inside of our mind. The lot of people are suffering alone, not by alone, but the you can see famous places and hospitals. There are so many people suffering. They have a lot of mental suffering thoughts, right? By the cause of mental suffering thoughts, they may face a lot of physical problematic situations. In Metta Sutta, right? What are the benefits of doing practicing loving kindness? The sutta called Metta Sutta, the Buddha mentioned that there are 11 types of advantagements you can gain, you can observe, you can achieve if you are training loving kindness thoughts inside of your mind to eradicate all the negative thoughts from your mind. I would say some of them, right? Sukang Supati. What's the meaning of Sukang Supati? If you cannot sleep well, you do not want to have special medicines, right? There's some people, not some people, even a lot of people are having sleeping tablets after working, uh, get tired. They are used to drink sleeping tablets in this contemporary world, but not ancient world. There's no any sleeping tablets. There is no uh, developed technology system at the ancient time, but they had good, healthy, wealthy, happiness life, right? That's what we have to understood. The Buddhist teachings are the best medicine to our mind, not body. If you try to continue your mind with energetic positive thoughts, that goes to wellness of your body even. Sukang Supati. You can sleep well when you practice loving kindness. You can awake well if you practice loving kindness. Sukang Supati, Sukang Patibujjati. Right? And then what's the other thing? Is Mukavanno Vippasidati. Yesterday, uh, I went to outside. While I coming to the temple, uh, one woman asked me how Buddhist monks are living very pleasant movement. Actually, I had gave the answer for her. The Buddhist monks are practicing good thoughts in their mind. The Buddha mentioned that factor in this sutta. Actually, I learned from them Mukavanno vippasidati. We do not have to use facial creams and special makeups or something like that to, if you want to live with happy mood and uh, gorgeous mood. The Buddha mentioned that if you are practicing benevolence, good thoughts in your mind, your countenance would be serene place. All other people like to see your face, want to see your face. They are really keen on associating with you. Not only human beings, even animals. They can feel very well our inner sensations, our inner thoughts. The Buddha expressed that. The Buddha promulgated that. Not only human beings, but also evil, very bad people also prefer to accompany with you, also want to discuss with you. Those who are practicing this positive benevolence thoughts in the life, those are the ones who are creating this beautiful world. Once Dalai Lama, the very famous Buddhist monk in Tibet, said that my religion is very simple. What is that? That is kindfulness, loving kindness. That's my religion. Very simple thought. But behind that word, uh, we can elaborate the many factors that hyponym word explaining the lot of things, lot of factors in the human mind and transformation of human thoughts, right? There are three major unwholesome factors would be harmful to human life. What are them? The Buddha mentioned that lobha, dosa, moha. The lobha, which means greediness, and dosa, which means hatred, violence thoughts, and conflicting thoughts, and pessimistic thoughts, right? And lobha, dosa, moha. The meaning of moha, delusion, not knowing. Those three defilement thoughts directly harmful to the human consciousness. If you have those negative, unwholesome factors, in Buddhist point of view, those three factors are completely destroying the human wisdom and rational thoughts and the perseverance of practicing eightfold path. Those three mental defilement thoughts are burdening and disturbing directly to achieve ultimate goal of nibbana, right? In five hindrances also included that hatred word, hatred concept, vyapada, ill will, right? If you have ill will, negative thoughts, hatred, violence thoughts in your mind, you cannot see the things. What are the like I would say, if you want to see the things inside of water, the water should be cleaned. Without cleaning water, we cannot see the bottom level of uh, that water bottle or river or whatever thing, right? That is the same thing happening all thoughts in our mind. If you have pure thoughts inside of your mind, you can see the world with beautiful thoughts. To cultivate fruitful and useful ideas inside of your mind, you have to all the way spread good thoughts inside of your mind. That's what I have mentioned at the very beginning of my Dhamma sermon. One of the very famous, the word of Buddhist teaching, Nahi verena verani sammantida kudachanam averena cha sammanti esa dhammo sanantano. The Buddha's advice is never hatred appeased, never hatred, never control by another hatred thoughts, but the nature of this world, the hatred thoughts would be controlled by benevolence, by wellness. That's what I wanted to explain in my Dhamma talk today. So that was actually pleasurable moment with sharing good ideas that was given by the Buddha. Actually, we are also practicing as the Buddhist monks, not only Buddhist monks, all the Buddhist people, right? What is the meaning of Buddhist? The wise, right? That is not uh, directly dividing or categorizing any special peoples in the world among all other people, right? That's the unique concept. Buddhist is the meaning of Buddhist word is wisdom, right? One who are following Buddhist teachings, those people we can call as a wise people, right? So as a wise people, uh, we have the vast opportunity to understand, to learn, to study these Buddhist teachings. Everlasting uh, result would be grasped from learning Buddhist teachings this very life to inside our mind. So thank you so much for the listening my Dhamma talk today. Actually, this opportunity uh, gave by the Tilak Leslie, and also thank you so much for the Udyani for handling this all the technology part, and also I have to uh, thankful for the sponsorship of this Dhamma talk today. Uh, Actually, I didn't remember what are the names of the sponsor persons are. How can I grasp this? Please give me 1 second. Today Dhamma talk sponsored by, actually these names are not easy to pronounce, but I will try to pronounce. IMO Chew Sim Chuan and Kua Chin Ooi, Lum Poh Khiam, Chooi, Seok, Foon. Those are the people who are sponsoring this Dhamma talk today. So thank you so much for helping to this Dhammadana series to speed up the Buddhist teachings throughout the world. So finally, I may transfer some merits to their life to fulfill with good thoughts and happy thoughts for them. Uh, Not only for them, but also one who passed away in relative of their family members. I may transfer, I may share some merits among those who have passed away from their family to understand, to enlightenment, having understood and having shared these merits to their next life, fulfilled with a lot of merits. Finally, they may all understand and a piece from ultimate truth of this uh, blissful of nibbana. So thank you so much for all listening and keep in your mind these concepts to practice in this very life. Thank you so much. So finally, I would bless you with uh, chanting Pali blessing gathas. සබ්බීතියෝ විවජ්ජන්තු සබ්බ රෝගෝ විනස්සතු මාතේ භවත්වන්තරායෝ සුඛී දීඝායුකෝ භව භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්칸තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ බුද්ධානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්칸තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ ධම්මානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්칸තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ සුඛී හෝතු. May you be well, happy, and peaceful for your life. Thank you so much for listening today, Dhamma Talk.
Thank you very much, Bhante. It was a wonderful talk. I actually have one question from one of our listeners. I will put it on the screen. I think he wants to know how he should act when he comes up with a situation like this.
So, give me 1 second. Kindness giving. I recently experienced with one sutta teaching Bhante. He was very rude, insulting, reflecting his. So, can you ask in brief?
I think he would like to know, like, if he in this kind of situation, how he should behave.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
that's related to actually donation, right?
he wants to know, like, recently he talked to this Bante, who is a sutta teaching Bante, and he was very rude towards the devotees, the Bante. So he wants to know uh, how he should like react to those kind of situations.
Yeah, that's good point. Mm, the Buddha mentioned that if you have enough mental capacity to spread loving kindness, like you have to think and you have to cultivate loving kindness thoughts like an ocean, right? All fish, there is no any specific uh, size, like small fish and big fish are living in the ocean, right? That's the one point. We have to spread loving kindness thoughts throughout the world without any expectations. If you uh, expect something from others, having spread of loving kindness, those who wants, that's not uh, completely, and that's not extremely loving kindness, right? Benevolence thoughts, there are some boundaries, right, that we have to understood. The one point is, you can spread loving kindness thoughts all the beings. That's first point. The next point is, the Buddha mentioned that while you are dealing, while you are behaving, while you are dwelling in this society, you can think this way. What's that way is, when you are talking with girl, any age limit, right? When you are talking with a little girl, you have to think that time, this girl sometimes would be my daughter in this metempsychosis circle, right? When you are talking with the all age women, you have to think at that time, this person would be my mother in this metempsychosis circle, right? That's the same way that we have to think all the beings about, these are my relations, these are my friends or father or mother or whatever else, they would be behaving uh, as in this uncountable sansaric circle, right? As a uh, dealing, like they came to our life to uh, gain or give something, right? If you are meet arrogant people, you have to give your good advices for them, because they are living lack of good positive thoughts, right? You have to share the good thoughts with them, rather than bad people. If you have to meet good and wise people, you have to follow them, right? That's the good point of view in terms of Buddhist teachings, how to deal with like these conflicting situation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Bhante.
Okay.
That was a good explanation. So I think that was the only question. Yeah. So we have come to the end of today's Dhamma session.
Okay.
On behalf of Buddhist Mahavihara, I would like to thank Bhante from the committee and the monks and the management. And I would also like to thank everyone, those who has joined us this evening to listen to this Dhamma session. So thank you. Sukhi hotu.
Okay. Thank you so much.